I'm James Trone, and I want to introduce you to the Holland Method and what it is and the reason behind both the book, the workbook, and these videos. The heart of it is that over the years, clients have come to me and said, "Hey, I need more." Either they've done processing with me or other therapists in the past, and they're like, we we need help beyond just talk therapy. And I've been in practice for 15 years or nearly 15 years. And something I've noticed is that while talking certainly has its place, and it's a percentage of absolute importance. So, you know, 50, 60% of just the ability to be known, to express what you need to express. The issue, though, is that that's all you're getting when you can really have friends out there, people around you that can do the same thing. In therapy, it's about going deeper, helping integrate these pieces of yourself that where you're stuck. It's the subconscious, the unconscious places. So that's part of the work of therapy. But then the other part that's so important to express is having a daily commitment to doing the work. That's my heart behind putting all this material together. Is the Holland Method was named after my brother who passed 26 years ago. His middle name is Holland, and I really wanted to honor him. So the book, The Holland Method, is named for him. And what I am passionate about is when I started doing therapy 20 years ago, I hadn't dealt with the loss of him. I kind of muscled through survival strategies of trying to perform my way through life. And then there comes a moment when you're just like, I'm not happy. It's not working. And what I've noticed over all these years of doing a lot of my own inner work is we need both a path and a practice. The path is like, what's the trajectory? There seems to be a common hero's journey, if I'm borrowing Joseph Campbell's words, of a consistent path that we all must undertake. Rarely is it that overt hero that we're called to intervene, save someone, but it's that inward spiritual journey. And there is a consistent theme, often that we start out in our life trying to build and structure our life in a real safe, secure manner. But at some point, it's just not working anymore. Either life intervenes on us and blows it up, or we find that we're depressed and empty ourselves. And that's that period of a dark night of the soul. But it's in that phase of the path that you find a deeper you that rises up. But the work is going inward, finding out who you really are and what the soul is asking, calling. And that's where the vision comes in that I'll get into on other videos of what the work entails. As it relates to this initial introduction about who I am and what I'm about and why I'm doing this, I want everyone who I'm working with and sending this material out is for you to know that it's possible if you just have some structure every day. So what is that structure? It's just waking up early. It's sitting down. It's doing the work. But as it relates to this Holland Method, so you have the path, this common theme of where you want to go, but then the practices are these elements of doing the work. In this process, also, what I found is that we need these tools of doing the work, but then how do you go inward? What does that mean? What does meditation mean? How do I journal? Because it's not just journaling of writing out, here's what I did today, but it's like what is actually speaking forth in a deeper way. And so I'll get into all of that and break that down. But then the real goal of a lot of the Holland Method, the whole purpose is to go inward, to find the lost parts of you, to integrate back into your life. And a lot of therapy circles, modalities, we call this the inner child. And that inner child is that part that was lost. You know, we honor your story. There's elements that you may not even consciously have known that you left behind. That younger self that needed the nurture and the love in particular ways that you weren't cared for of your own experiences. That's the healing. Robert Bly, who wrote this incredible book called Iron John, said, where our wound is, that's where our glory lies. And where our wound is, that's where the gift is back to the community. So, Holland Method, path and practice. The way I say it is that therapy is really good if in therapy you're being asked to go inward, deeper beyond the talk therapy, and that you have tangible tools that you can work on. From that place, I decided to put together these Dawnos meditations. You can find it on these streaming platforms. I just wanted it to be free. I wanted anybody to have, well, what's this meditation that we're doing? You can go on, look under Dawnos, and you'll see these different tracks, 4 albums that you can go and access the voice of love, ask the questions. It's a process. Do the inner child work that you on your own have the ability to work through the very stuck places that have been plaguing you all these years. That's what I'm passionate about. So if you're drawn to this, it's available. I just want this to be a resource for anyone that feels like maybe you can't afford therapy, or maybe you need something more on a daily basis. These are the practices. I'll get into more about what the work entails, and then breaking down Holland Method itself, this trajectory of really levels of consciousness that lead back to healing. Thanks, and hope to have you follow in these other videos to come.